Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw. You titled it Identity. As an image, it's hard to like within the frame, there's like 2, 4, let's say 10, 20, let's say 30 sort of silhouettes or 25 silhouettes of people in various states of expression. Kind of just standing as if somebody, it's more of an illustration, but it could have been at the base a photograph. Hard to know because there seems to be a lot of image manipulation. It's basically these black sort of faded.
If you turn around, you'll see it on the wall.
It's on the wall there. Yes, there we go. Oh, so what it is?
It's a light box.
It's a light box. Okay. So what's the story of this amazing piece?
So can I get it off the wall and show it to you? Or no, we should talk about the photograph?
However you like.
So this is a piece that I've been working on. It's a series that I'm working on at the moment. And this is only one piece of it. But you explicitly said 3 to 4 photographs. I pushed it to 4, so,
It's perfect.
So there's a second photograph that goes with this, where the light is on. And when the light is on, the gaps in the rows of people are filled in.
Got it.
And this is a piece of work that I'm currently, it's not finished yet. And there's a series that goes with it. And it's all about loss and longing and about finding your place and finding where you fit into the community. So in order for the light to go on, the viewer needs to be involved in the artwork.
Okay.
There's a button that you need to press.
Right.
And that button turns the light on. And if you let go, the light goes off and
Right.
the gaps are there again. So this is about finding community and finding identity and finding yourself and your place within it. Because I think I've spent a lot of time being an other, being a bit of a fish out of water, fitting into lots of different places, but not necessarily taking them as my full place. And in Hong Kong in the last few years, this has been a place where I've delved in fully. I'm fully immersed in Hong Kong and quite committed to this space. And so this is part of how I'm trying to tell people that in order to be valued as a member of the community, you have to join in as well.
Okay.
Without you, there's no connection.
Right. And I got it. I know that sometimes talking about a work, which is a feeling, and the words are approximations or representations of the feeling. Sometimes it can feel like on the audio you can't see it, but as you're finishing your sentence, and maybe you could hear it in the tone of your voice, there was this sort of self-awareness or sort of almost, I wouldn't say embarrassment, but it's like you're kind of finishing it off as not with a sort of conviction, assertiveness, as if you're sort of selling an idea. But I understand that. I think the notion of identity for Hong Kong is incredibly sensitive,
Yes.
and current. And so, for example, in the work that I've done, we've always talked about Hong Kong being, also a like a conduit, essentially like a meeting point or whatever for people who are coming through and everything. And it's for the people who settle, like myself, like yourself, like we're people who you can cough. It's allowed to cough.
I was burping.
You can burp, fart. It's raw. Do it all.
I'm so podcast conscious,
It's
I'm
fine,
like,
it's fine.
Audio needs to be clean.
Like I said, I'm gonna break you. No, okay.
You go ahead and try. You go ahead.
But I love it. You see?
Is that me?
Boom. Perfect. Sorry about house. Where are you from in Canada?
Southwestern Ontario. Oh, you're actually from Canada, so I can be more specific because homesick Europeans, named our country.
Right.
So it's usually like, I went to primary
You're
school.
from Barrie or Hamilton.
No. From a very small town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meaford.
No, smaller. My town has 200 people in it.
You've heard of Meaford? As a fellow Canadian, I hear it in your voice. Okay, but it's also interesting in terms of you come from a place like Canada. So where have you lived before Hong Kong?
So before Hong Kong, when I left Ontario, I moved to Vancouver for a while. And then I moved to China, to Chengdu. And then I moved from there. I came to Hong Kong. And I arrived in Hong Kong during a typhoon.
Nice.
Yeah. And I thought, being Canadian, I'm like, God, everybody says Hong Kong's really busy, but there's nobody around.
Right.
And it's just a bit windy and rainy. Like, there's no snow. It's not freezing or anything.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Yeah, what's the danger?
So, anyways, I came through Hong Kong, was trying to go to Taiwan, but they wouldn't let me in because I'd washed my passport in the washing machine by accident, which is apparently not a great thing to do.
Okay. Learn something new all the time.
Yeah,
awesome.
Laundering passports, but actually laundering them.
Right.
Not.
That's okay.
And then I met my husband, and he said, when I was in the visa office, he said, why don't you come to England? Because he was studying in England. Why don't you come to England with me? It's an island, just like Taiwan. So I said, okay. And
you're a nutter. You're a fucking nutter. I love it.
Well,
and you thought, oh, he's pretty charming.
It seemed normal at the time.
Sure.
It seemed like what was I going to do? I could have flown back to Canada and gone back to a regular life, or I could have just kept adventuring.
Amazing.
And I hadn't maxed out my credit card yet, so you might as well, right?
Yeah.
So,
and if it didn't work out, you go the other direction.
Exactly. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Now, I mean, admittedly, they kept me in immigration for 8.5 hours because my passport had been washed.
Right.
And at that time, we didn't have mobile phones or anything.
Oh,
so
you're just waiting.
And I only met my husband 5 days before.
Wow.
And so I was waiting in detention and wondering if... Right. There's all these people around me who are really distressed. They're like, don't send me back home. They're going to kill me. I'm like, wash my passport. But,
wow.
you know.
So they let you out.
They're going to have to send me back to Canada, send me back to Hong Kong, or let me out. And they let me out. And my husband, my now husband, but then recent acquaintance, was still there.
Wow.
Waiting for me. Because we had no phone numbers or...
Amazing. Identity. Amazing. So, okay. So a person like this, Canada, you know, famously lots of space, concentrated populations. Mm-hmm. And I think Canadians wrestle with the concept of identity quite a bit.
Yes, very much so.
And what's interesting about, I don't know about if you feel this way, totally fine. But I think what makes Canada really interesting is there's this lack of gung-ho Canadian patriotism. Like, I think Canadians are patriotic, but it's not like, it's a very kind of demure, kind of slightly embarrassed, like, maybe not.
It's demure and embarrassed, but it's also rock solid at the core, I think.
Okay.
I think there's a lot there that makes it really, but the need to scream about it isn't as important, which is something I really value.
Yeah.
The idea that, you know, you can say whatever you want about Canada. I'm comfortable with that, what it means to me.
What I really like about meeting people like you is that, well, you know, for the show, for the podcast, this is about, you know, creative expression. That's one of the important values: creative expression, strong women, leadership, that kind of stuff. And surrounded in your studio, there are all these artifacts of ways in which you're expressing your inner self. And so when you came up with this notion of the identity piece, and to just kind of describe it a little bit more, like when you look at it, it's all these people in silhouette, kind of holding hands. It's you have to pay attention, but then you can sort of see. Essentially, it's people in silhouette, and there's a lot of white space. So that's one version. And the other version is that you turn on the light, which is what connects people even more, right? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's the connection. It's the connection from the viewer itself.
The viewer.
Oftentimes in artwork, the consumer, the viewer, the person who's looking at the art is not interacting.
Right.
All they're doing is looking at it.
Right.
And you're this passive, unconnected person. Now the artwork might connect with you, but you can't connect with the artwork in the same way. Like it's not. It's a one-way street.
Yeah.
I think that's bullshit.
So have you had a lot? Have you had a lot of pieces around this theme, or is this one example of the theme that's come up that you thought this is a very concrete way of materializing that feeling?
This year I'm working on light boxes.
Oh, so nice. Okay.
This is the new iteration of it. 2019 I made matchboxes. which are, I took a diary. I did a diary, 365 days. I made a matchbox each day with a little diorama inside of it talking about my day. So that was my first like real connecting. And then, of course, with everything that happened in 2019, that became quite a record of the situation. And then last year, 2020, I made paper mobiles.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed, first of all, the matchboxes were distilling a day into a tiny little piece. Yeah. And the mobiles were distilling a thought, I guess a message.
Atmosphere.
An atmosphere, an idea into a silhouette, into some simple paper shapes. Right. And that had to, like, I loved simplifying it and stripping away everything that was superfluous to get to that core idea. And I love that we have all this shared cultural identity or cultural pointers. I love that we have all of those things, and you can put up this one image. Like the image, you see the yellow lantern over there, Hong Kong windows, right? You see that and you think Hong Kong windows. Sure. Everybody does who's been to Hong Kong. Like, that's a Hong Kong window. It's just a window, but it's a Hong Kong window. And it says something. It's something about where it is and what it is. And all that imagery just says so much, and that storytelling. So I really enjoyed that, and I wanted to try some more interactive things. So the mobiles were great because there's still one up there, and there's more in the hallway.
But they're dimensional, like as they
they're
move,
three-dimensional.
It creates,
and they're really soothing to look at because we needed soothing in 2020. And so they're really soothing. They're really just wonderful to just look at, turning gently and being. But the light boxes, I wanted something more interactive. Then it's time to stop being, with everything that happened in 2019, and then things became really passive for 2020. And 2021 is a time not to be passive anymore again, and to look around you and say, where is my role in this community? How do I become a valid and valued member? And how do I make other people, how do I give other people a space or make space for other people to also become valuable members and valued?
Well, in from your words to describe it, like you are literally creating the connection by participating with it. So as an observer, you're seeing a crowd, and you give life to that crowd by interacting with it or whatever. I mean, these are just thoughts.
Yeah, that's the general idea, is that you're seeing a community of people. They're linked together, but there's holes in the community. There's gaps.
Right.
And those gaps can't be filled without you.
Now, the people who don't live in Hong Kong at this time in history are going to get one level of the conversation.
Yeah.
For the people who live here, and this is probably true with absolutely everything all the time anyway, but for the people who live here, there's so many complex levels that come up when you start talking that are very sensitive. They're extremely sensitive. And if it's okay with you, I'd like to take this breath as a moment to move on to the next photograph.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
You and your beautiful voice. Sure.
I mean, absolutely.
Yes. Okay. So is life really a gift? Really? Can you make every second count? That's the whole point of the podcast. So if you like what you've seen and you're inspired, because that really is my mission, then please give it a like, subscribe, and share.
Shooting it raw?
Yes. Shooting it raw.